Javvad Malik. I am the lead security awareness advocate at KnowBe4. And what that means basically is I spend most of my time researching, doing media relations, speaking, presenting, webinars, writing blogs, white papers, all of that kind of good stuff. So my background is I've always worked in cybersecurity. When I first started, it was IT security, then it was information security, and now it's cybersecurity. Yeah, so I during my degree, I had a 1-year work placement in between, and I worked for a bank in IT security then. And then they were happy. They said, "Oh, go finish your degree, come back and join us." So I went back, and it was great. I stayed in that side for about 5-6 years. Then I went into consulting for cybersecurity for a while. Then I went into as an industry analyst for a few years, and I've now found myself on the vendor side of things. So I think I've gone full circle, seeing like the three sides of the industry. So I work at KnowBe4, and KnowBe4 focuses on the human side of cybersecurity, and the mission is to help people make better risk decisions every day. And we do that through a variety of tools and techniques. Our platform primarily is one that provides things like phishing, simulated phishing emails, and it has the world's largest library of training content. So there is content for anyone. It's also localized in over 30 languages. So it's a truly global company. We have offices all around the world, and we have content teams all around the world as well. So in the UK, we have a UK production. In South Africa, we have a team there. In Germany, we have a team there. So in the US, clearly, we have a lot of talent there, because that's where the headquarters are. But it's a very big and diverse library of content. So if you're a German-speaking law firm and you want content that is less than 5 minutes long and is in an animated format, we've got that. If you're a British company and you want a 10-minute drama, we've got that. If you want a comedy, we've got that. So there's something for everyone. And this is important because different people learn in different ways, and no same approach works for everyone. So you need to have the variety of content, which we're continuously adding to. So that's the key crown jewel from a user delivery point of view. We also have tools to help people report and to investigate any suspected phishing emails. So there's something called the Phish Alert button. It integrates into your email clients. So if a user receives an email and they think, my mum is asking me to buy 2,000 pounds of gift cards and send them to her because she's in Cambodia in prison, let me hit the phishing button. It removes it from their inbox and sends it to their security team. And over there, again, we have tools that can help aggregate things together. So the Security Operations Center, they can do forensic analysis on those emails. And also, they can search everyone else's inbox. So if it's a phishing email, they can search everyone's inbox. Say, has anyone else received this? And if they have, they can rip it out there. And then they can actually turn that phishing email into a training email, a simulated email, and send it out to everyone as well. Say, hey, how many people would fall victim to this? And that's a really good indicator of how many people would fall for an actual real live attack. And we also have something called Security Coach, which is real-time sort of like micro training or nudges to help people. And what that does is that integrates with your existing security tools. So whatever you have on your endpoint, like Sentinel-1 or CrowdStrike or whatever you have for your SIM or network tools and what have you. And what it does, it'll read what the user activity is doing from their logs. So if someone plugs in a USB, it will say, user's plugged in a USB. And then you can, as the admin, you can say, okay, send them a Slack message to say, we don't allow that. Or intervene and send them some pop-up training on their screen for like a poster or a 15-second reminder to say, hey, you're doing this, maybe there's a legitimate reason, but, be familiar with the policy. So it's like real time, just nudging people it's a bit like my latest car, as if I change it every year. I don't. But my car, it's got like lane monitoring on it. So if you don't indicate and it goes over the lane, the steering sort of gives feedback to it. So it's kind of like that little nudge. It's sort of like, it's not stopping you from driving, but it's saying, hey, are you sure you want to do that? And that's what this product kind of does. So our product, we sell to organizations.
Okay.
And then it's a SaaS product. So they just subscribe. And then the admin internally will configure it to send. So it integrates with Active Directory. So all your users can be imported into it, and you can create different groups. And then you can say, okay, to the sales team, we're going to be sending these phishing emails, and to the marketing team, we're going to be sending these and whatever. But that's all decided internally. We have like customer success managers who can help guide them and talk them through the process. But we don't make the decision of what to send and when to send it. So we get a lot of really positive feedback from our customers. We have like over 60,000 customers around the world. So and we often see like we get a lot of feedback, and I'm not at liberty to name. We have some case studies that are on our website that we can share, but primarily a lot of times it's like, someone reported something, and that could be before they've done something or even after they've clicked on something that they shouldn't have. And the fact that they reported it allowed the teams to respond in a quick way and contain the incident, because they're like, otherwise, who knows? The criminals could be in our network and they could be undetected for months at a time, which happens very, very frequently. So it's just the small things that, like, someone found this USB drive in the car park, but they didn't plug it in. So there's loads and loads of these little wins that we get every day. And they seem like small things, but ultimately these are how a lot of the big breaches happen. So our future plans is we're working on a lot on integrations with other vendors, especially from a security coach perspective, but also from other functionality practice to make it more tailorable by the end user. So there's a lot in there, and we're also working, and that will help us to have a better view of the overall culture of the organization. So at the moment, like we're getting a lot of visibility through Security Coach on behaviors of users, and companies that are using that are actually pulling back and seeing a whole trend. Like, oh, it's not just one user that's plugging in a USB; it's 50% of our users or 80% of our users that are plugging them in. So they're like, okay, there's a trend there. So what can we do? Maybe we're not giving them the right tools to use to do their job, or maybe this is like, and those are really good indicators of culture that then you can say, okay, we're going to put in place these measures, or we're going to allow it, or whatever it is. But then you can see how you're shifting culture, and that's where we're heading. It's already there in the product, but it's more maturing of that and allowing people to kind of like be more embedded into the SOC. So you have all your technical alerts there, and it's to put a filter on top of it that gives you the human behavior perspective overlaying that. Because most incidents or most something, there's a human doing something behind it that has caused it, whether it's clicking on an email or going to a website they shouldn't, or downloading some software they shouldn't. There's always some human element to it. But at the moment, the SOC focuses purely on the technical side. How do we detect when this malware is run? What we're moving towards more is that, how do we detect when someone is doing something they shouldn't? And there's lots of reasons for that happening. Sometimes, a lot of times actually, it's because people are just trying to do their job. So, okay, people are trying to do the job. How can we enable them best? And therefore it becomes a very collaborative approach. So it's more of a, how do we win the hearts and minds of people and bring them on board? And how do we meet them halfway? Educating people is easy. For them to change their behaviors is hard. It's like smoking or vaping. Most people know it's bad for your health. No one will say, hey, it's really good for my health. But quitting, once you're addicted to it, is a behavior change, and that's very difficult. I know I should go to the gym more often. I know it's good for me. I'll look good, feel good, everything. But changing that behavior for me to be motivated to get up and eat, that's the hard part. So awareness is just the beginning, or that initial education. You tell people, hey, don't download software you shouldn't, or dangerous software. That's one part of it. The challenging part is how do you change the behavior of that individual? And part of it is continuous education, like do small training, but more often. The other part of it is giving them the message in a way that relates to them personally. So it's a lot of times people are told, don't do this. And it's like, this doesn't affect me. Why should I care? Okay, I'll go through this and I'll tick the box. But if we make it personal to them and they're like, this is really good, I can go home and teach my family and friends about this as well. That's when we see it really catches on and people change their behaviors. Out of Black Hat, there's two primary reasons I attend a conference like Black Hat. One is to see the trends that are on the show floor when you see like all the vendors and what they're moving towards, and learn from the speakers as well. And the second part is really the social part, to meet people, old friends, meet new friends, have those sort of like hallway discussions with them, stuff that people would like to say on stage, but they can't. So you have them in a more private one-on-one basis. And that's a really great learning for me as well. Next year, yes, we're planning on attending a lot of events, or I am as well. So there'll be definitely Black Hat next year, InfoSec, B-Sides London, IP Expo. There's a number of like virtual events. So yeah, I think there's a whole laundry list of events that are scheduled for next year. So I'll be traveling quite a bit to them.